A very good evening. You're watching The Big Debate with me, Gaurie Dwivedi, focusing on CAA, the politics that's been continuing for the last 10 days, and the clarification coming in from the Home Minister, who said in a bid to assuage fears and dispel the misinformation campaign that's being spread around CAA, NPR as well as NRC, spoke yet again, this time at length, clarifying the government's position, backed the Prime Minister's statement saying that there has been no discussion whatsoever as far as Pan-India NRC is concerned within the cabinet as yet. He also dispelled rumour mongering by opposition on the link that is being seen between NRC and NPR essentially being extensions of each other. Earlier today, the Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi continued to indulge in politics. They were looking to reach out to Meerut to meet the families of the victims who've, of course, lost their lives in the violence that's plagued Uttar Pradesh the last couple of days. Though the Gandhis were not allowed to enter Meerut, even as politics has been going back and forth as to why really were they not allowed to do so, even as both in West Bengal as well as in Tamil Nadu, politics has been intensifying on this issue with Trinamool as well as DMK taking to the streets in large numbers. And that's exactly the big debate that we are having this evening. Where is the CAA politics headed? Will Amit Shah's clarification diffuse the tensions, or will this continue unabated? Before we go any further, let's listen into what the Home Minister said in that clarification interview.
पॉलिटिक्स और कम्युनिकेशन के बीच में अंतर होता है। जहां तक कम्युनिकेशन का सवाल है, हमने नोटिफिकेशन निकाला 31/7/19 को। आज तक सारे स्टेट ने नोटिफिकेशन निकाल चुके हैं। इसको कम्युनिकेशन कहते हैं। पॉलिटिक्स इसको कहते हैं कि सीएए के कारण बवाल खड़ा हुआ, सीएए का बवाल अब थमता जा रहा है, सब लोग सीएए को समझने लगे हैं, तो अब नई पॉलिटिक्स कर एनपीआर पे विवाद खड़ा करो, इसको पॉलिटिक्स कहते हैं। कम्युनिकेशन कहते हैं कि हमने 31/7/2019 को नोटिफिकेशन किया, उसके बाद सारे राज्यों ने नोटिफिकेशन कर दिया है।
क्या इसे पॉलिटिक्स कहते हैं या बीइंग सेंसिटिव टू पीपल? मतलब कि अगर लोग समझते हैं कि इससे मुझे घाटा हो रहा है, तो क्या आप सेंसिटिविटी
लोग नहीं समझ रहे, लोगों को समझाया जा रहा है
और गलत समझाया जा रहा है।
गलत समझाया जाए।
Okay, Shivam Chhabra representing the BJP, Vivek Srivastava with me here in the studio, political analyst, along with SK Datta, who's also a political analyst, Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian. We'll also have Athar Zia, political analyst in the studio, Siddhartha Das, essentially the non-right voice, so to say, the TMC view on the broadcast. Before we go any further, let me ask the neutral person on the panel. Joyita, let me begin with you. What do you make of the clarification that has come in from the Home Minister? Do you think it's going to assuage the tensions that have been building on, or do you think Mamata Banerjee, MK Stalin will continue with what they have been doing, which is to flare up tensions?
No, because it suits both Mamata Banerjee and Stalin to flare up tensions. So, in spite whatever the clarification may be, this whole exercise will continue. You know, this whole exercise about going and giving the message to the poor and to the ground that you see basically the whole thing is being brought so that you can be disenfranchised and all. So this game will continue. But frankly, in fact, I would say what the central government should have done earlier, and they should have done the messaging better. You know, when they brought in CAA, they should have thought of all the loopholes in the way this communication could get distorted. So basically, I think
something that the Home Minister agreed. In fact, he conceded in the interview that yes, the communication should have been better, which is why, of course, you see the flare-up that's actually taking place.
Yes, exactly. So the realization has happened. And it's also good that he's making it clear right from the beginning this time that there is no connection between NPR and NRC or CAA.
Okay.
But then when it comes to playing politics, every party plays politics. So the others will also play politics. And I'm certain if it was the case with BJP, BJP would have also played politics.
Siddhartha Das, respond to that.
See, this is nothing but damage control. They are trying to damage control because they know that the situation is getting out of hand. We have heard the Home Minister and many BJP leaders time and again saying that we will do NRC and CAB. Right after the CAB, we will do NRC and we will kick out this many. In my particular state, in my state, West Bengal, the BJP head said, we are going to kick out 2 crore people. And this is not something that, that they have said it time and again. And this is not something hidden from the people. There are banners all across this state that we are kicking out people. So now when they see that people are hitting the road, that there are large processions, protests going on across the country, they are left with no other choice but giving such interviews to the media. This is nothing but damage control. They have created this situation, what we are facing today.
Shivam Chhabra, the Home Minister also said that the communication should have been better. And what Siddhartha Das essentially is saying here is that because the protests have been done at such a large scale in all opposition parties, they have forced the government to come out with a clarification and almost on a back foot.
See, this is the mockery of the situation. We must all clarify that CAA does not refer to anybody in this country, and that has been clarified by not even the Home Minister but the Prime Minister of this country. And still they are going to, still the opposition is probably playing on this issue and playing politics on this matter. So this is the double side of the opposition. One, as far as the the communication part is concerned, yes, it could have been communicated better, and I think the BJP as a political party, but as a government also, are making absolute, I would say, very serious and sincere effort so that this thing reaches out to every household and every person in this country, that this citizenship is not at stake. This particular bill has been introduced to provide citizenship and not take anybody's citizenship.
It is selective.
So this has to transpire.
That is why we are protesting.
But it has to be a collective effort.
So there is no question of communication or malcommunication.
No, it is not selective.
It's a selective bill, and you left out a particular religion, left out a particular community on purpose.
No,
that is why we are protesting, and we will protest peacefully.
It is not about any community, sir.
Of course, it is about a community.
It is not about any community.
It is about
unfortunately you don't want to
Shias,
understand the situation. It is about persecuted Muslims. No, it is about persecuted people
and when you would have
living in Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh who are being provided citizenship. I don't understand why you can't understand small incident in this interview.
Your malicious intentions have been exposed.
Nothing
and it's a people's protest.
Nothing.
22 universities. 22 universities
is being done by you.
So your lathi charges on students. Now they are backfiring.
Why
your Home Minister is on a back foot.
Have they? Sir,
that is the problem.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. No, hang on.
Parliament came up and said,
let's allow each other to speak. Let's allow each other to speak.
ये ममता बनर्जी के शब्द हैं, मेरे शब्द नहीं है.
Okay.
ममता बनर्जी के शब्द हैं.
Okay.
आप उसको कैसे डिनाई कर रहे
हैं? CAA में डाल देते ना मुसलमानों का नाम भी, आप क्यों नहीं डाला?
एक सेकंड. Okay. Yes.
Why were the Muslims not included?
All right, Vivek Srivastav, let's allow others to speak. I'll come to you. Yes, I will come to you.
Citizenship to people, not to take anybody else's.
No, ask him to shut up then. If you're asking me to stop.
No, first of all, I decide who shuts up and who doesn't. Let's be very clear on that. Nobody tells anybody else as to who speaks and who doesn't speak. Fair enough? Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question and then I'll get SK Datta as well as Atharji also. You'll get your chance, please wait. Which is that you are going on and on saying about how this is restrictive, how it is not giving Muslims a chance, how some of the other persecuted communities in Islamic countries are not being given an opportunity to come and take refuge in India.
Yes.
The point is the government has clarified two things. One is saying that the other route is still open, which is the Adnan Sami route, which is that case by case is always open.
How many cases
can
do you know?
Can I at least ask the question?
You know?
Vivek Srivastav, this is not how it's going to work.
Okay.
I will ask the question and I'll give you a chance to respond. Second point is that the basic premise is that when you say these communities are persecuted, the fact is the right to pray, which is to have your place of worship, even that is not available to these people. Something that an Ahmadiyya or a Shia or a Baloch cannot say, that we are not even being allowed to offer prayers in our country. Even that basic right is not available to a Sindhi or a Sikh or a Hindu or Buddhist.
Yes.
How do you now differentiate?
First of all, I think your knowledge of Ahmadiyas is extremely poor. Please go and do some research. Ahmadiyas are a badly persecuted minority in Pakistan. Houses are bombed, women are raped.
And we are supposed to open the doors for everyone.
And listen to me now. They have been declared non-Muslims.
I don't like your attitude.
No,
I don't like your attitude, sir.
Give me the time.
I don't like your attitude.
Don't butt in now.
Sir, I don't like your attitude.
I mean, that's
if
your
this
problem.
is how you're going to speak.
Then you give me 20 seconds
no,
and let
sir.
me speak.
If this is how you're going to speak, sir. No, sir. I don't like your attitude. I've been very, I give everybody chance. But I don't like your attitude.
Please bad for the government.
No, please. You can keep your attitude to yourself and shove it where you want to.
Given
I can also
20
speak that
seconds.
language.
You
If
have
people
not
don't like
given
any
me
other
20
language,
seconds.
then this is the language they get.
But you are
It's as simple as that. No, I'm not stopping you.
speaking.
I'm not stopping you.
Why did you interrupt me?
No, I did not interrupt you.
20 seconds
First of
दीजिए और
all, आप
सुनिए
हमसे
पहले।
बात करना सीख लीजिए। नहीं तो अगर आपको प्रोटेस्ट ज्वाइन करनी है, प्लीज ज्वाइन कर लीजिए जाके।
प्रोटेस्ट तो हम करते
आप
हैं।
करिए जाके।
हम करेंगे।
आप
हमारे
मंदिर
देश
तोड़िए।
का प्रोटेस्ट हम
मंदिर
करेंगे।
तोड़िए जाके। कौन मना कर रहा है? यूनिवर्सिटी में जाइए और पेट्रोल पंप फोड़िए। आप मंदिर तोड़िए, कोई मना नहीं कर रहा है आपको जाके। मंदिर तोड़ने से ही तो सेकुलर बनते हैं। आप तोड़िए। मंदिर तोड़िए आप जाके, पेट्रोल पंप फोड़िए पुलिस पे। नहीं हो ही रहा है ये, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं हो रहा है. Let's put out. I don't want to see the guests here. Let's put out all those images. Let's put out all those CCTV images. We don't need to see the guests here. Everybody is seeing who the guests are. Let's put out all those CCTV footage, full frame, please. Full frame. We'll take the Mangalore feed, then we'll take some of the other feed. Let's go full frame on that. All elements are very clear for everybody to see. I don't need to see any of the guests here. They can be heard, and what they are saying, everybody is seeing. And I'll tell the producer when we want to come back to the guests. You had a point to make.
Yeah. Gaurie, I want to tell one thing, that take an example of Assam. 19 lakhs people were identified as infiltrators, right? Out of that, 4 lakhs are Muslim and 15 lakhs other. Now these 15 lakhs who are staying here for last 35 or 40 years will get the citizenship. Now those 4 lakhs only will not be getting the citizenship just because they are born to a Muslim mother. So this can any right-thinking person
respond to this? This is the charge that has been there all along. Yes.
Any right-thinking, any judicious, any fair person
fair
on
enough,
this
sir. You
earth
made your point.
can justify it.
That's the concern.
That is the concern. One thing I will add to it.
Yes.
I will one thing add to that. That see, for religious persecution from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, people, all the Hindus, they are badly, persecuted. They migrated from here, right? But from Bangladesh, and no Muslim has migrated after 1970 or 1960 from Pakistan or Afghanistan. But from Bangladesh, people came to India because mostly because of economic situation out there. There was like bhukmari kind of thing. Just
made your point, sir.
Yeah, just
made your point.
No.
Let's at least get a counter.
There is one thing, because I just wanted to say that because they didn't come because of religious persecution only, and that's why they came.
Can I now get others too?
Yeah,
you made your point,
sure,
sir.
yeah.
You made your point.
Yeah.
Yes. S.K. Datta, then Joyita. Yes.
My dear friend, I wish you would have gone to Assam and you would have seen the reality yourself. I have been brought up in that place. I know what is the reality and what is the situation there. There's 15 lakhs who came over from East Bengal or from Bangladesh. They were the persecuted people who had no other option except for fleeing their country and for taking refuge here in India as refugees. The 4 lakhs who came over from Bangladesh or from East Pakistan, they were not refugees, they were illegal immigrants. Try to understand the definition between illegal immigrants and refugees. You know nothing about Assam. Apuni ahomor bepare eku ne jana. Moi janu ahomor bepare. I know each and everything about Assam. Now let me come to the original argument of Vivek. He had spoken about the Ahmadiyas and he had spoken about the Baloch.
Declared non-Muslims.
Let me finish, Vivek. I was decent enough when you were speaking. I did not say anything, and I appreciate if you maintain that magnanimity.
Sure.
In relation to the Baloch and in relation to the Ahmadiyas and the others from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where the Ahmadiyas have a big concentration of the population, and in that part of Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Sindh and Baloch, we as Indians and the government of India has openly advocated for independence of those countries.
So why don't
the
you let
Honorable
them come
Prime
here if
Minister
they are
has
persecuted
said
minorities?
that Balochistan needs to be
Dattaji,
made
I am saying the
free.
same thing.
Sindh needs to be
Ahmadiyas-
made free.
See.
Khyber Pakhtunkhwa needs to be made free. When we are talking about independent countries, the question of giving them refuge here in India does not even arise. We have gone one step ahead and we have spoken about their freedom and independence from a dictatorial, theocratic state like Pakistan. So I think the clarity is made there in a very way. If you all have the tendency of becoming a political crow and you can't cheat, then we have nothing else to do. We have nothing else to do. We also know how to give answers
just in case
to
you don't
political
know.
crows.
And
By doing
still, you have left these people
but
out
that is not
because
there
you
in
are
our
selective
agenda.
and against
In
a
our
particular
agenda,
religion and minority.
the supreme agenda of ours is nationalism.
No, it is Hindu
national
Rashtra.
ethos and the country
A country
first.
only
And
for a
after
particular
that,
religion.
That is what
your
I
agenda is.
question you about
All right,
IPA.
all right,
I
all
question
right.
you about the assurance of Mahatma Gandhi, about the assurance
all
of
right.
Patel,
Okay, SK Datta.
and about the assurance of
SK
Nehru.
Datta,
Have you
SK Datta,
forgotten
SK
those
Datta.
assurances?
Okay.
What
Let me.
assurance?
I'm going
I
to
will
give you
come
a
to that.
chance to
I'll
make
come
your
to that,
point,
sure.
and then I'm going to give Joyita a chance to come. Yes.
sure.
What are you saying? Yes.
First of all, see, Ahmadiyas have been declared as non-Muslims in Pakistan. Okay? That is one thing I think people over here do not know. The Shias, the Balochis, they are also bombed. They are not allowed to practice. Okay, they are also a persecuted minority. I do not know why their name is not in the list. This is a secular country. There has been a violation of Article 14. When you have made this act is against the very basis of Ambedkar's constitution, which says that every religion, every caste is equal in this nation.
Okay, yes, Joyita, you wanted to come in, yes.
Okay, several points actually
Yes.
I have to make. First of all, number one, just as an aside before I get into what I have to say, General Bajwa, the army chief of Pakistan, he's an Ahmadiyya.
Yes.
Okay. So it is not that they are that badly off also.
No,
so it is not that.
Sorry.
Okay, fine. And
Misinformation.
the thing is, he's not an Ahmadiyya.
He's not an
Misinformation,
Ahmadiyya.
madam.
He's
You
not
don't
an
even
Ahmadiyya,
know
then what is he?
That the,
What is he,
listen,
General
what is he
Bajwa?
doing? Spiritual heads of the
Is he a
Ahmadiyyas
Hindu?
were forced
Is
to
he a
run away
Hindu
from
or a
Pakistan,
Christian?
and they
Or
are
a
living
Parsi?
in London.
Or a Jew? Or
Zulfikar
what?
Ali
What is
Bhutto,
he?
now listen to me, Datta. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto passed the law because of which the spiritual
It's
gurus
all right.
of the
What
Ahmadiyya
Okay, let
are
her
free.
finish her
You don't
point.
know this. Listen
Let her
to me.
finish her point. Let her
You're
finish
not
her
aware.
point.
Tell me this.
Let her
Is he
finish
not an
her point.
Ahmadiyya?
Okay,
Let her finish her
fine,
point,
fine,
yes.
fine. Bajwa is an Ahmadiyya. Okay, now that is not the point. The point here is that when you are talking about illegal immigrants, economic migrants and refugees, what has happened when you are looking at the Bengali population, the Bengali Hindu population that has fled from Bangladesh, or at that time it was East Pakistan. The few influxes that happened, one happened around the time of partition, and the next one, the big one, where millions came over. Some went to Assam and a big chunk went to Bengal. This was in the lead up to the 1971 war, and it was because these people were being persecuted and the worst kind of atrocities were being meted out to them by the Pakistan army in that, and which also, and it was part of this. So this, and we know, because I am a Bengali, I have been to Calcutta, I have stayed in Calcutta, and these bordered areas in Calcutta, there are Juggi Jhopris, what we call JJ colonies here, much worse conditions. Millions and millions of Hindu Bengalis came over because they were being persecuted because of their religion, and they all settled over there. So these are refugees who came in. What happened in Assam is that, and in fact what is happening in Bengal also, it is primarily economic migration. The Assam Bengali Muslim movement from East Bengal to Assam started sometime in the 1920s and 1930s under a program called Grow More Food. Okay, now part of that Grow More Food, what was happening is, you see, at that time only there was a lot of problem in Assam, and it was being said that all these Muslims were being brought in, and it was the thirst for land. So in fact Lord Wavell had written one particular treatise at that time saying it was not about grow more food, it was grow more Muslims.
Yes.
So this trend has continued throughout, this thirst for land, and because of which what has happened in lower Assam in particular and in certain other districts, demography has changed completely. So this is the problem that is there. It's a different matter in Assam. The agitation that is started and ended with Assam Accord. It was about ethnic identity and not religious identity.
Absolutely.
But yes, there was a difference between.
Okay. On that note, I'm going to slip into a very, very short break. Come back and speak more to Siddhartha Das to talk more about what exactly is the TMC saying on that. Stay with us. Come back. You're watching The Big Debate with me, Gaurie Dwivedi. Where does the CAA politics go from here? Will Home Minister's efforts to dissuade the protesters to in fact diffuse tensions, is that going to succeed, is really the key question. Siddhartha Das, come in there on what situation is right now in Bengal, even as there are enough and more clamour coming in that all this is nothing but politics that is happening.
First, Gaurie, I would like to request to you that while you were showing the clips of the lighting, torching of buses and all these ruckus, there are clips available in the internet where BJP workers wearing skull cap and lungi putting fire to train and buses. So I think you should also share those.
Okay.
Can choose
if
your
I have
videos
verified
and
videos,
clippings.
we'll be more than happy.
And
if they can be verified, yes, of course. But they need to be verified, sir. We can't put out unverified information and videos on our channel. But if it can be verified, yes, we would like to put out information as it is. Yes.
There has been FIR lodged and the persons were arrested from a BJP leader's house. The people are already imprisoned and the case is going on. It is not unverified. You can check with the authorities here. Secondly, Madam Joita said that in 1971, Hindu Bengalis were persecuted on the basis of religion, while the entire world knows that it was not a religious persecution. What happened in Bangladesh is a linguistic persecution. It was happened because Urdu-speaking Muslims persecuted Bengalis, both Hindu and Muslim. And the biggest chunk that came from Bangladesh was because of a linguistic persecution, not a religious persecution. And thirdly, while you were talking about religious persecution from Bangladesh, Afghanistan and Pakistan, I would like to ask one question. Why religious persecution only? There has been lot of other persecutions across the border of India. There has been persecution in Tibet. There has been persecution to our brothers, Tamil brothers in Sri Lanka. Why India will not open gate for them? Are they shall they not be have the same stake like any other person in India? So this is discriminatory at many levels.
There is an accord between the government of India and the government of Sri Lanka, which is known as the Indo-Sri Lanka Accord. The problem in relation to the Singhali Tamils who have come over here in India and have taken refuge, that accord solves that problem, and how it needs to be solved. All those issues are mentioned there. Coming over to this whole notion of this, BJP workers wearing in skull cap, I think this is an innovative creation of Mamata Didi. Like the way she has gone for an innovative creation today of Kaka Chichi. This kind of creation can come from Mamata Didi only. And from no one else. What has the Calcutta High Court said? What is the decision of the Calcutta High Court in relation to the NRC and in relation to the Citizenship Amendment Act? Hasn't the Calcutta High Court asked in the Bengal government to immediately withdraw all the posters, the communal sensitive posters which are pasted across the wall and length and breadth of Bengal? What is the decision of the Calcutta High Court? Answer me this.
Just a second. Let me come in.
That does not answer my question that why you will not make this bill. Why you will not put the Tamils of Sri Lanka and
I have mentioned you about the Indo-Sri Lanka accord. About the Indo-Sri Lanka accord where the concerns of the Tamils are
my only objection is that, I keep on visiting Middle East for my profession, and I used to debate there. Sometimes people used to say that you may be discriminated. I said no, never I had been discriminated because of my religion in India.
So how are you discriminated now, sir?
No, just a second.
You are a citizen of this country.
No, let me complete. Then when I tell them that you guys are just saying that where even the laws are discriminatory. In India, at least laws are not discriminatory.
How are they discriminatory to you? Please tell me that,
Now,
sir.
now
You are a
it is.
citizen of this
Now
country.
it is because I said
How is
that
it
the 4 lakh
discriminating?
people in Assam will not be given the citizenship
Shivam Chabra,
just
respond to
because
that.
they are Muslim.
Shivam Chabra,
They are
respond.
illegal
And
immigrants.
15 lakhs.
They are
They are
illegal
not
immigrants
citizens.
who have
They are
come
not
over
the
from
same
Who
thing.
decides
the other
who's
side of the
illegal?
border.
It is the
Who
They
same
did
thing.
not come here
Who
because of
decides who's
immigration.
illegal?
They
Who
came
decides
here
who's legal?
because
You are
of
not Muslim.
demographic
You are not
tendency
given the
to
citizenship.
change the
It is
demography of
discriminatory.
Assam.
And
There
it
was
is
already
absolutely
there was
unfair.
already a
It is-
illicit
it is
file
against
of
the
the
laws of
ISI,
India.
All right,
which
all right.
has come
Against
into
the
the hands
laws
of
of
the Home
India.
Ministry
all of you.
during the
This is
time of
something-
the Rajiv
this
Gandhi
is
government,
something-
which
all
has
of you,
spoken
all of
about
you.
Nobody on
greater
this earth
Islamic
can
empire
justify
in
all of
eastern
you are
part of
talking
India,
to-
including
Okay,
Bangladesh.
all right, all right.
Gaurie,
No,
I
sir,
want to-
no, sir,
I-
no,
no,
sir.
sir.
You know, this is
If-
not a lung power
Acha,
contest.
just let me-
I am perfectly,
make it light.
I am
Let me-
perfectly
just-
capable
just
of
give me-
muting everybody's mics.
Just let me, give me.
I can mute
Ek
everybody's
second, ek
mics,
second,
sir.
ek second.
I can mute
Okay,
everybody's
okay.
mics.
Just one
No,
share,
sir.
one
No,
share.
sir.
Gaurie,
No,
one
sir.
share.
I don't have time for your share. Sorry.
No, no.
Shivam Chabra, respond to what Atharsia said.
Yes, yes. So I was just hearing to what Mr. Das was saying from TMC. I do agree his problem in his situation because he's protesting just for the sake of protest, because he's a political, he belongs to a political party who's going in for elections coming next year. So I do agree his concerns of getting into a the minority appeasement politics, because a lot of people from the other community are there also. So I do agree his situation. I am not trying to correct him out. But the only thing is that the people of this country, the viewers of this channel, must come to know that this bill does not refer to the people living out here in India, and does not matter. It is completely. No, Mr. Das, let me just respond, sir. I heard you. Oh, I heard you screaming on that channel does not define that you are right. Defining, screaming on this channel will not define your right, sir. You are, how BJP works will decide by me, not by you. Why did Mamata Banerjee come up in the House of the Parliament say that
Quickly
infiltrators
respond,
are actually
sir.
hampering
Shivam
West
Chabra,
Bengal?
finish your point
Why?
quickly. I need to slip into a break.
You have to answer this. And when the government takes an action, you stand opposite to the government and say, I don't agree to it. Why?
All right, so
Don't
if-
show that other side of...
Okay,
No,
so
no,
if
you
the
have a dual
efforts
stand
are
to
to
it.
diffuse
You have a
tensions,
dual stand to it.
and if
As
the
a
panel is
citizenship
here
amendment
is
act is
anything to go
concerned,
by,
this
then I leave
act
it to our
is
viewers'
meant for
discretion
providing
and judgment to
membership
decide
or citizenship
whether
to the people of
tensions
this
would
country.
actually diffuse or would the politics on CAA continue unabated. We slip into a break, we come back on the other side, talk more about Bengal. Once again, it is Didi versus the governor. Stay with us.